everybody, I'm here today to tell you how to have a better memory for studying. In this video, I'll be going over a few simple things that you can do to improve your memory for studying. These are simple things that will help you study better, more effectively, and get better marks on your tests. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first way to have a better memory for studying is to walk before studying. Now you see what happens is when you walk, your heart pumps a little bit faster than when you are sitting down, at least for the most part. And because your heart is pumping faster, it's moving blood throughout your body. Therefore, the oxygen is going throughout your body and making its way faster and more efficiently to your brain. And with that being said, with more oxygen in your brain, you're able to retain more information much better, more effectively, and therefore you're going to have a better memory for studying. So that's the first thing that you should do. The second thing that you should do to have a better memory for studying is you should speak out loud instead of just reading in your mind. Now, most people when they study for a test or when they study for anything, they just say what they're reading in their mind. They'll just read in their mind. But what happens is when you do that, you have one form of portraying that information to your brain. It's what you are thinking. But when you speak out loud, you now have two forms of portraying that information to your brain. So what you need to do is speak the information out loud instead of just reading. And what that will do is that will give your brain two ways, not 2 plus 2, two ways to interpret that information, and therefore it's going to allow your brain to consume the information, digest it, and therefore have a better memory for remembering it. So it's as simple as that. Instead of just reading in your mind, speak the information out loud. The next thing that I'm going to tell you to do is chew gum while you're studying. Now this has a similar effect as the walking that I was talking about for the first tip, but it doesn't actually significantly increase your heart rate like walking does. When you chew gum, your brain has to actually be involved to get your mouth to chew constantly. So what happens is as you're chewing the gum, your brain is telling your mouth to chew constantly. Now, because one part of your brain is telling your mouth, the muscles in your mouth, to chew that gum, it actually makes the other part of the brain work harder to remember things. So because one part of your brain is working to make your mouth move constantly, remembering to move those mouth muscles to actually chew the gum, the other part of the brain has to work a little bit harder and therefore is going to work harder to remember whatever it is that you're studying. So with that being said, something as simple as chewing gum for the entire time that you're studying will help you have a better memory for studying. Now, a quick tip is to choose gum that you like the flavor of and choose gum that has a long-lasting flavor because you're probably going to be chewing it for quite a while. So make sure that you are choosing a gum that you like and that has a flavor that lasts for a long time. The next thing that you should do is reward yourself. Figure out a milestone. Like let's say you're studying for like 5 chapters in math for like a math test. After you've studied each chapter effectively and efficiently, reward yourself. Maybe it's something like, chewing another piece of gum. Maybe it's having a candy. Maybe it's watching a 5-minute, 10-minute YouTube video just like this one right here. Maybe it's doing anything. Like it can be anything in the world. But reward yourself after you hit each milestone. That's a key factor. What that's going to do is it's going to trigger different chemicals in your body. And when you reward yourself because you've studied, your body's going to take that as a good sign and it's going to try to remember what you've studied because it wants to replicate it so it can get rewarded over and over and over again. So it's a little mind-body trick that you can use. Next up is you want to create mental associations with whatever it is that you're studying. One of the best ways to remember things, especially when you're studying for a test, is to create these mental associations. So what you want to do is think about things that you already know, think about things that you're studying, and relate them together. Let's say you're studying for a test about, a math test. Just to make this nice and simple, let's say you want to remember that 2 plus 2 equals 4. And you know that you have two I'm just trying to think of an example. You have 2 dogs and you have 2 cats. Therefore, you have 4 pets in total. That was kind of a good example to come up with on the spot. That's the mental association that you can use to think about 2 plus 2 equals 4. 2 dogs plus 2 cats equals 4 animals in total. The next thing to have a better memory for studying is to teach others what you've studied. So what you want to do is study the information and then portray it to others, teach it to other people. One of the best ways to learn is to teach. So with that being said, learn the information and then teach it to others. That's going to reinforce it in your mind because it uses a different part of the brain, and then it's going to allow you to have a better memory for the information that you've studied. Last but not least, eliminate distractions. I know people that tell me they study with music on, and that's very possible to do, but I've convinced myself over the years of studying for my exams and my tests and so forth that the fewer distractions that I can have, the better that I'll retain the information. Some people can study at a coffee shop with music in their ears, or like watching cars drive by, and that might work for them, but for most people, eliminating distractions will allow you to have a better memory for the information that you've studied. And that's basically it. In this video, I've told you how to have a better memory for studying. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.